Hey everyone, welcome to our video series, Knoll Days, and thanks for joining us for today's episode of the South Burial Ground within Knoll Cemetery, which is in Palmer, Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, here with my co-host, local historian and founder of the Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Como. As your personal tour guide, Robert will lead you through some of the most iconic sites and their legends of historic significance throughout New England's preeminent and pivotal state of Massachusetts. With his expert insights, every monument and memorial story comes to life. Afterwards, don't forget to check out his website, holyokecanaltour.org, to access the full Knoll Days video and podcast series. Also, check out his free in-person public tours he offers throughout Western Mass and the 2025 schedule for these special events. You can also book personalized private tours for groups of all sizes tailored to your interest. To discover all that and much more, log on to holyokecanaltour.org. And so, Robert, how old is this cemetery, and what year is the first stone within the cemetery?
All right. Supposedly the data records of burials state that the first land was ready 1727, the first burials happened then. But when people go canvassing through the cemetery, they find that the oldest stone is 1732. So it's probably 1727 was the first burial done, but the stones have worn out. And 1732 is the oldest stone. They both make it the oldest burial site within Palmer itself, which is incredible. That's a very old burial, equivalent to a lot of the towns closer to the Connecticut River. So this was settled very early on. And what we want to do is distinguish where the South Burial Ground is compared to the Oak Knoll. The Oak Knoll's main body is all around here. I'm guessing that the Oak Knoll was made around this South Burial Ground, maybe 1870s, 1880s. Alright, and let's go in towards the old portion and see if we can find out some properties of it. And it looks like we're starting to very quickly with some older stones here, 1819. Okay, and this one looks to be made out of a shell. And this one is very old, but worn out. And here it looks like a footstone, so we have hope that this is a paired offset. Yes, it looks just like it's a lot smaller. Here lies the body of Mr. Stephen Clark, who accidentally something to death. And it gives the year 1729. That'd be extremely old. Okay, so yes, it's paired off with its footstone over there, and if it's post 1776, it's hard to read the date, and it's correctly arranged so that the headstone points towards the west, the footstone of it points towards the east. Yeah, it says right on it, Clark, Mr. Clark. And the body is in between here. Alright, footstone, headstone, and the body, the head of the person is at the headstone, the feet of the person at the footstone. And it's on the east-west axis. Alright, and you got some more over here. Lots of very old ones around here. This is 1776. December 6th of that year. And it looks like it has a footstone in the back, but the footstone points the same direction as headstone. So right away I know that the footstone must have been changed around at some point. All right, and this one's 1758. So this is the first one I can verify to be pre-1776. Lieutenant Gideon Merrick, who died of smallpox in 1758. Now, before 1776, headstones should point towards the east and the footstones towards the west. The body would be such that his body, if it hadn't been swiveled around, would be head here, but then feet down here, and there's no footstone there. So someone, to make it look like all the rest of them, made this one turned around and face towards a westerly direction when it used to face towards east. So superintendent, probably when they were changing from the South Burial Ground into Oak Knoll, changed all these. This one was changed around too. So let's go look at some more old ones here. Look how big this one is. So there's Abigail Fowler in 1810 next to her. And then Scott from 1790. Look how gigantic that stone is. Wonderful stones. It's hard to tell what these are even made out of. It might be a very light form of shell. Alright, and this one died 1782, and it tells you right on it, the part of his life, out Palmer, Massachusetts. Alright, so it's got some wonderfully old stones here. And then in front of them are, they must have expanded the cemetery also outwards when they made it towards the roads. Here's one 1779, 79, and 79. Three probably young children died in the same year. Right, here's a very old one. I rolled it away. Okay, here's 1760. So this one here, Daniel Graves, used to be positioned so that it faced towards the east. So this swiveled on his axis, and also they took his footstone and put it opposite him. So when this was first made, his head would have been buried right here and feet extended in this direction. The stone was 180 degrees the other way, facing towards the east, because he's a pre-1776 burial. That footstone would have been over here, facing towards the west or outwards from the stone it is now. So a lot of changes in that stone. Okay, and then since the cemetery was probably changed in 1870, 1880, some of these are part of the old South Burial Ground, and so that's why you have a lot of marble ones in the mid to late 1800s over here. And some of the ones that are 1810 to about 40 should have had footstones with them, and most of them don't. Now here's a nice set because all three of them still have their footstones with them, and these seem to be, yep, they're all post 1776 burials. And so this is a wonderful three sets, all of them with their footstones. Okay, and they're quite beautiful. And this is Graham and that's a hard name to read. Okay, so Graham King, but you can see the footstones over here. So the bodies were at the headstone position, the feet were at the footstone position. All the footstones point in the opposite direction from the headstones. So wonderful. These are absolutely correct position of what they should belong in. It's wonderful to see that. Okay, so there's quite a bit around here. over and over again, and you can see wonderful gravestone. This one also is correct. All right, headstone, footstone, pier that go in the right direction. All right, so with that, I'll leave you, and make sure you check out the Knoll Cemetery video also.